Good afternoon, boys and girls. It's Edel here. Today I'm going to do a basic scone recipe with you. During this isolation, it's good to try some new skills. Okay, so today, if you don't have a scales, I have altered the recipe so that you could use a cup. So a full cup is 200 grams of flour. In this bowl here, I have 200 grams, that's 1 cup of self-raising flour. The self-raising flour already has the raising agent in it. This recipe only has 5 ingredients. So next in the recipe is margarine. We have it at room temperature, so then it's easier for it to rub into the mix. Now, the margarine normally comes in a block, and if you divide the block into 10 pieces, then you just use three pieces, so that's 3/10 for your recipe. Next up is 50 grams of sugar, so that's 1/4 of the cupful. What we do now is we use our fingertips to rub in the margarine and keep your hands high so that we are aerating. We put loads of air into the scone mix. And while we're doing this, we have the oven turned on at 180 degrees so that will bake the scones. It'll take a few minutes to heat the oven, so it will be heating nicely when this is on. And now this is all in. So next up, we have 1 egg. We break the egg in. And after that we use milk. If you just add in a little milk at a time, because it doesn't need much milk, and the amount of milk all depends on the size of your egg. So you just add in a little, because you can always add more. Okay, as I said, we're doing plain scones today. You can do many variations on the scones. I'm just going to add in another little bit of milk. You don't want it to be too soft, because if the mixture is too soft, when it's baking in the oven, they will spread out and they'll be like biscuits, and we don't want that. We want scones. Okay, this looks about right now. I'll show you now. So you just turn it out onto your counter. I'll use a little bit of flour just to take off the excess dough off my hands, and you just, with your fingertips, just knead it in together. As I said, you can make many varieties of scones. You could add raisins, sultanas, you could add in frozen berries, you could add in toasted nuts. These will keep fresh for 2 or 3 days, but if you wanted to warm them in the oven tomorrow, just put them in for about 30 seconds. I'm just going to flour the board. Now, I have a rolling pin here. If you don't have one, that's fine. You can use a sports bottle, you can use Ribena bottle. Just make sure it's clean, or otherwise, just gently push down with your hand. Now, you can use a scone cutter. If you don't have a scone cutter, that's absolutely fine. You can use a glass instead. Just make sure to tip the glass into the flour, so that way it's easily cut, the mixture. So once the flour is on the glass, it comes out very easy, the scone. Now, I'm just gonna, this mix makes about 4 scones. You can always double up. I will give you the recipe at the end. Now, they take about, I'm just gonna make a tiny little one here so it's not too wasted. They take about 15-20 minutes in the oven, depending on size. If you didn't have a cutter or a glass, you can use a knife. As I said, you can do loads of varieties of scones, and there's a competition on this weekend on Today FM, on the Alison Curtis show, and she is doing a junior baker competition, and she wants people to send in their recipes, their photos of their scones. And last weekend they did a competition, and it was junior baker for biscuits. Like I said, I like to do recipes that use very little ingredients and that you don't need much equipment. I should have said at the very beginning, Always make sure your hands are clean, your hair is tied back. This is a good time to try out new skills of baking. Hope you like this recipe. It's one of the first recipes I learned when I was in chef college. If you have any questions, just let me know. As I said, I'm going to put this in the oven at 180 degrees. And here's a few scones I made earlier on. Very simple recipe to make. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like me to do more videos, that's no problem at all. Okay, hope you're all safe and well, and looking forward to seeing you again in St. Pat's Senior National School very soon.